Something strange is going on in Houston as we wrap up the preseason week 1 game against the Vikings. There was a lot to love, but there was also a lot that was not very good in terms of the backups and fighting for an actual spot. But today, we're going to break down everything that happened in the preseason game, who started, who did well, what to look forward to for this offense. And again, it was mainly all second teamers, but that was probably the worst preseason game that I saw out of all the games, and I watched a lot of preseason. But if you guys are new, 75% of you are not subscribed. And to get right into this video, basically the blocking, I kind of want to just touch on that first off, because here's the pass blocking percentages of yesterday's game. And honestly, it looks pretty good. I mean, Ariante Urster is up there with Woody Marks and Jawar Jordan, 2 running backs. So that's pretty good. I mean, look at Ursery. I mean, 3 carries, 20 yards right behind him, 6.7 yards per attempt, 4 yards per carry before contact on the run. So that's impressive there. The good thing to note that Davis Mills kind of walked right down the field. First drive of the game, 10 plays, 74 yards, touchdown. I thought there was going to be a little bit more of Davis Mills. We didn't get to see a lot of him. And I'll get to the quarterback battle for QB3 later, but I think the main thing to look at right now is the fact that this offense can play. I mean, Ariante Ursery played well. He played well enough. Nick Caley's offense almost every single time was under center. He did go empty a few times with Graham Mertz and Keaton Slovis, but realistically, 45% of the Texans snaps were under center. So the 52% considered quick, which is under 2.5 seconds. I mean, here's the thing. Nick Caley's offense is still very new, but we saw a lot of motion from guys like Berrios. Jalen Knoll had a decent effect. Berrios caught the touchdown. But realistically, looking at this team, the first drive of what we expected from the backups in terms of Davis Mills quarterbacking the offense, he looked pretty good. And realistically, it was a methodical drive. If the Texans' offense is just going to be bang, bang right down the field, I mean, that's going to be pretty good. So the fact that it is the second team offense with, Jaden Higgins is out there, obviously Nico Collins, and most of the starting offensive linemen kind of stood back. And I'll go back to this chart right here because, honestly, it wasn't the best blocking day for some of the second teamers. If anybody saw the live stream I had yesterday, I was losing my mind for the amount of commercial breaks there was because there were so many 3 and outs. And there's so many 3 and outs basically because you can't give your quarterback enough time. Blake Fisher had a rough afternoon. Look at that grade. 32.8 in the pass blocking. Not very good. The left tackle, I mean, you had DeCoulis, I'm pretty sure, Austin DeCoulis. Again, 61 rating, but again, 61 down, did not have the best day. Jared Patterson played ugly. I mean, it was just not a lot to like. Jake Andrews, again, the starting center, did well. Ariante Ursery did well. And we even saw a little bit of three kind of backs in terms of fullback, running back kind of duo, which I didn't really expect. I thought it was just going to be single back. Instead, they have fullback and a back, so 2 backs. But they have British Brooks out there, and I don't mind it. It's definitely an interesting look. I mean, from what we saw from Nick Caley in that system, it really is looking like a good thing in Houston. As far as, what we can look forward to, there was a competitive performance for the QB3 spot. I mean, that was really what you're looking forward to. Woody Marks, again, with the third teamers, played pretty well. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, the offensive line didn't really help him out because that was kind of the third team, but realistically, they played pretty well. The quarterback battle between Slovis and Mertz, I don't think it's really debatable right now. Slovis kind of proved that he is the number 3. Mertz, I really don't know why they drafted him in the 6th round because you didn't need a quarterback. If Mertz was going to be considered this Taysom Hill-like, a whole toolkit player, I mean, sure. But he's coming off that ACL injury. You don't want to – I don't know why 6th round you take a chance on a quarterback. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's like – I mean, as slim as the Texans roster spots are right now, there only should be 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Either Slovis or Mertz are going to fall to the practice squad, and they could even get picked up by other teams. But Luke Lachey, the rookie tight end out of Iowa, from when I saw him on the field, it was ugly. I could go back to this pass blocking thing. He's right down there with Eli Cox, so he could not block. He kind of just let a lot of guys walk right around him. But again, he'll learn as time goes on. I mean, realistically, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. The second half was pretty bad because you have, most of your other guys playing, and you kind of think to yourself, do you want to put CJ Stroud in there for a drive week 2 or 3 in the preseason? Because maybe it'll look a little bit different. Maybe you can bring a little more chemistry. I mean, there's just a couple things that you could do differently. But John Mechie looks solid. Davis Mills and him have been having a connection in training camp, and they were able to find each other. He had 5 catches, 45 yards, led the team. I mean, that's pretty good for a guy who's fighting for a roster spot after last season, kind of didn't make the most of his opportunities. If that's going to be a guy that's going to step up and create separation and catch the football and do what he's supposed to be out of the slot, I think he was asked to do a little bit more when he was supposed to be the number 2 next to Nico Collins when Tank Dell got hurt. But him as a slot receiver, he can definitely thrive in that atmosphere. As far as other things to look at, I mean, Jamal Hill and EJ Speed, as far as the defense, I loved what EJ Speed had to do. He was all over the field, tackle for loss, and the guy, speed is in the guy's name. He is really quick, really fast, and just good play recognition of getting up to the ball, spotting what the play is, and he's a little bit aggressive in terms of that aspect, so that's where his pass coverage grade could be a little bit bad, but 9 times out of 10, he sees the ball getting handed off. He is explosive. He is going right to the hole, and he's going to make a play. So I said in the live stream, but I feel like EJ Speed is one of those guys who could probably take the job of Christian Harris if he does not stay healthy. So that is something to stay on the lookout for as the season goes on. But Jamal Hill, EJ Speed stood out. Rough start for Blake Fisher. That's kind of why you see Ariante Ursery stepping up, because Fisher's still trying to find his place. I wouldn't say in this offensive line, but he's still trying to figure out how to stay on the NFL field. I mean, last season, he was kind of forced into the rotation due to injury. Did okay, but, didn't do anything crazy. So I think as time goes on, he could hopefully develop into the right tackle spot. I was hoping Ursery could stay on the left side because I personally do not trust Cam Robinson to hold down that blind side. But realistically, the offense is not terrible. I don't think we'll see Nick Chubb or Joe Mixon for the season as far as looking at the starters. That third spot is up for debate after Mertz threw 3 ugly interceptions. Granted, he didn't have time to throw the football, but at least Slovis made do with what he had. Went 11 of 15, 11 of 16, whatever it was, 70 yards. He checked it down. He couldn't physically pass more than 10 yards down the field because I literally counted. It was 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, there was pressure. And I don't know how it happens, but I mean, that second and third team offensive line with DeCoulis and Henderson and Cox, that was not good to watch. So Fisher kind of got the first team reps. Again, no Cam Robinson, no Laken Tomlinson, Titus Howard didn't play, Nico Collins, CJ Stroud. So you got to see a little bit of other guys who needed to prove a roster spot. And Knoll looks quick. He looks speedy. Him and Berrios look really good together. I think even a little bit of Mechie in there. So it's interesting to see that slot role of what do you rotate in for the offense. But I thought the offense played really well. The defense played pretty well. We got to see the first looks of Nick Caley's kind of scheme, and it looked a lot similar to the Rams. I saw some motion from Jaden Higgins on the touchdown drive. It was a little bootleg action, and Braxton Berrios, I didn't know who it was at first, but he came over from the right side, and he wasn't really in a slot position. He was kind of just lined up right next to the tight end and just kind of pulled across as the bootleg came back and just wide open for that. So that was a little bit different in terms of what I didn't really see from the Rams. Again, I don't know the Rams kind of offense inside and out, but this looks like what could be a methodical offense, and I like that, but I'd like to see what it can do, under 2 minutes. I mean, it was the first kind of stitch of anything we got football-wise for the Texans, so, you just kind of want to see the situations get tougher for this team, if you know what I'm saying. You want to see C.J. Stroud in a 2-minute drill, making quick decisions. What are we looking for in this offense? And I think this team wins at least 9 games. Realistically, that is their floor, because again, if the second team offense, and I don't know if it was the second team defense for the Vikings, I'm pretty sure Blake Cashman was out there. So they had some of their starters out there, which makes it even better for the Texans second teamers and Davis Mills to look really good in this Nick Caley offense. So honestly, the second half was ugly just because after the first drive of Mills, it was just not great to watch in terms of the offensive line stood tall in the first half. The second half was ugly. But yeah, I mean, looking at this team, there's a lot to love. I would like to see CJ Stroud have at least one drive, either second or third week of preseason, just to get a little bit of chemistry with his guys. I know they're practicing in training camp, but I feel like as fans, we just kind of want to see the goodness of what this offense can do with all of our capable starters on the field. So let me know your thoughts about the preseason. It was pretty ugly for the second half, but it was pretty good for the first half, if you understand what I'm saying. So, oh no, who's going to play quarterback 3? I'm not necessarily too concerned. But honestly, the takeaways, it was pretty strong for the first half. In terms of the first drive of the game, Arianta Ursary played pretty well. And, I mean, Derek Ogunbowale played pretty well too. So, honestly, I'm looking forward to the season. The only thing I'm really concerned with is the offensive line at full strength. It really looks pretty good, though, other than everything else. I'm a little bit thrown off because we didn't get to see them for too long. You know, we got to see them for a drive, and they got taken out. So, as far as the preseason game, yeah, it didn't go too well. You know, the depth of the team, especially the offensive line, isn't very good, but that's kind of as expected in the first preseason game of the season. So a lot to love, a lot to look forward to for the second and third stringers. But overall, I'll take what we can get from the Nick Caley system. It looked really good. And I'm looking forward to CJ Stroud stepping foot on the field week 1 of the NFL season. It might be a tough schedule for the Texans, but there's no reason that they can't compete with teams like the Chiefs, teams like the Bills, teams like the Eagles, teams like the Vikings, Lions, Packers, whatever you want to say, people are contenders. The Texans have the ability to play with a team like the Ravens, who beat up on them last year, a team like the Bengals, who has all the offensive firepower in the world. But again, with how good the defense can be, and the defense, I don't even think I showed that graphic, but the defensive line was unbelievable in terms of, if I can even find it here, but the D line was really, really, it was really good. Yeah, defensive line showed out, and those weren't even the starters. So, Tuhill, Hagi, I don't even know how to say his name, Nabusi. But they were in the backfield against Brett Rippon, so that's what we'll end on. But thank you guys so much for watching. No, I rambled on. As always, when we get to 10 minutes plus, I can't shut up about this team. So apologies as always, but thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the love and support on the videos. Let me know if you saw the live stream, and if you want me to do that in the future, just for every game for the Texans going forward. I was thinking about doing it. Maybe we'll have Donovan and me break things down, but let me know. Appreciate everyone as always, and we'll see you in the next video.